Back to the dirt journal. We are starting to work on the berry area. Let me face out of the wind. Welcome back to the dirt journal. We're beginning to work on the berry area. So we have wood chips here, but they became infested with a type of morning glory, a little wild morning glory, which was there before them. So what we've done, we laid down some cardboard. We scraped everything off, laid the cardboard out, and kind of solarized it, meaning we took away the sunlight from it. And you can see that made everything pale, everything that didn't just die right off, as opposed to a live specimen where it's going crazy. So the next step that you're going to see me do is we're going to lay cardboard in here. This is cheap stuff that I've salvaged from behind the plant stores and the dumpsters and stuff. If you don't destroy their stuff, or mess it up and leave it all messy, they really don't mind if you borrow some of their cardboard forever. And we're going to lay it down, and it's going to trap all of the seeds that are down here underneath it as a weed barrier, just like a weed cloth. They won't be able to come up through to the light. And then we're going to bring in new bark and put it in over top. There'll be bigger things like berries and trees that are going to be sticking through it. And that should eliminate, 90% of what we couldn't. There's no way to hand pull this stuff out. It's all connected roots and everything. So. And then this is dirt, or wood chips that we have piled up here. We're going to use these logs that I salvaged from the fire. You can see all the burnt trees that we have around here. So these are from up on the farther on the property. I peeled their bark and stuff in another video. We're going to use these as a little wall and then a staircase over there in the corner. So, and that'll pin down the edge of the cardboard, and we'll work our way this way. Right now we're letting these poppies mature so we can get the seeds on them. And then we will pull them up and use their seeds in other spots. But right now we're letting these poppies get mature and get their seeds on them before we disturb stuff. But this will be a process that moves across this whole area, and we'll take their seed bodies and spread them back out. Don't worry, there'll be poppies here again. Out of battery yesterday. I didn't realize, of course, while I was trying to time lapse this, but there's the basics of it. It looks rough because all the ends are showing. I don't have rock and the dirt and the fill in, but You can get the profile of that instead of coming straight up as a wall. Brought the cardboard in as a ground cloth. Used our logs from the fires that we had out here. The trees in the background. These are actually cedars, not digger pines, so they'll last a little bit longer. And we have a little growing spot, so they don't match perfectly because you got to work with the bend of the log, and want it to come up steep and then slide back, so each one's actually graduating to a little bit wider and wider. And then this one might actually be whitest of all, so these will be berries and bulbs and everything like you've seen me do in other spots. And same technique, laying the logs in and tamping the dirt. Next one back a little ways, fill in behind it, next one back a little ways, make your staircase. It's the same engineering as rice, tea leaf farms. You know what I'm saying, using every little bit of maximum space instead of just building a wall. Using the terrace techniques. Terraces are some of the best places to grow. So that'll be the profile. This is the art of it, is we gotta tie some pretty square normal stuff together with the dropping of the grade, mixed with the weed issues, mixed with wanting to install a tree at the right grade so it's not buried, and that can be a problem of inches. Tying logs together, keeping them from all sliding with rocks, and you know, trying to not over engineer anything and just work with the actual raw materials too. Every log is crowned one way. I wanted all the U's on these, the crowning, meaning that the 2 points are kind of bent. It's bowed. I wanted the bows, the belly of the bow, to face out instead of in. So there's only really two sides of the log. A lot of them have big old gnarly branch things that come off of them, so I wanted the smooth sides out. So a lot of the times you're just forced into your rough shape. So asymmetrics is the answer. But that's nature for you. Start with a pattern and then let everything that affects that pattern shape it to what it's supposed to be. Now you got something you can actually walk up and down. So this will be the next part, is tying this together, and that's a question mark even for the crafter. It's got to be strong, got to be connected, and I want these lines to bend around the corner even though we're working with straight logs. You don't want to make things too short or they fall out. And we're not really jointing stuff, so it's all a twist of the wrist. And then the staircase here, it's going to be like 3 or 4 big stairs up to the top, and then a rock edge to that. So off we go. Okay, so that's going to be more the order of things. Got it more squared up, established where the top is, their width, dimensions, the ends on everything. Comes around here, and now I'm establishing the stair cuts that will connect all this together. I got one. See, it's giving us some great grade here. Really flat on the top, and then little 2-inch steps that'll be perfect little berry levels on down. And then all under the shade of the tree. Here's our new top connection, so that's the level that'll be flat all the way across here. The new row of cherry plums with their leaves on, and here you can see the top board, so I'll be filling in behind it. And then the next level, I've actually carved this down to the dirt so it's firm. Each one of those is carved down to the dirt. This will be continued over, and can see, we got some, I mean, they're crude primitive jointing, but everything fits on top of everything. And just like here, I'll do some after trimming, and that'll give us the difference between these lines coming in and those lines coming in that we can continue. And then we got some big rocks brought for another part of the property here, and we'll use those for the last prettifying. Now I'm actually going to nub this off a little bit, and some more artistic touches. And they're basically just there to hold the dirt until it all rots into place and the plants grow on it. So, but good way to use this is all lumber from the fire. The wood chips that you see everywhere are all chipped up in the fire. We got a dirt release from the county, so basically sign a little piece of paper so that if they hit your gate on the way out or something, which they wouldn't, but you know what I mean, it's just a safety thing for them, and that's all it takes. And they'll bring you wood chips when they got fires going on and clean up and that kind of stuff. But there's our next line. You can start to see the structure, so that's right on the bend, and that upper part holds the V where the two logs come together, gives these something to butt into, and away we go. So these little rocks that I put in here pin the end of the boards, but they also add a little detail. When you stand back, it creates that little edge. You always start from your bottom and pin boards, and then pin the next and the next, so that your rocks are holding the next one down. And I also use them in spots like this where I've stuck it up under the edge. And you're not going to see it very much when all the dirt's there and stuff, but it's trapped, it's in a low spot, and it's pinning this whole log now, and it won't move, neither will the log. Keeps the log nice and tight on our seams. You can see I've leveled that one up so it's not sticking up and looking all ugly. And then now let's build our lines. Transfer. I decided to make a little level, bigger spot, so it's like a natural planter box. We got all the skinny beds that come in, including one on top, and I use big rocks. Woo, wind, that feels good. It is a hot day. And I brought them across the back. I closed off the end of that one, brought it across the back. We're having height issues, plus that's really permanent. Gives us our, wow, I gotta bap that over. And there'll be a couple bigger rocks that pin this side here. Yep. And it's that time of day, so excuse the cars. It's all peaceful until you try and shoot. Start to pin them on the edge. That's what it looks like. The hoses all kind of disappeared down in. Those are the stairs up, the steps up. Little beds, pretty clean. Pretty clean.